Hello, and welcome to day 2 of our fundraising event week for Sudara Freedom Fund and Sudara. My name is Glenn Parrish. I am the Executive Director of Sudara Freedom Fund, and I'm so glad that you've decided to join us here today for our virtual tour of India and some of the programs that we invest in and that you support that provide life-transforming opportunities for vulnerable women and children in India. We do this because we've grown up in an environment where freedom is something we take for granted. And the women and children that we're supporting in India, that's not the case. But we're so excited to be able to provide pathways to freedom with our partners that transform someone's life from a place of slavery to a place where they can stand on their own feet, they can take care of their own lives and their families, and they are not caught in some of the darkest places this world has. And that's why we do what we do. But the way we do this is through partnership. You're so important to us in this. Our partners on the ground are so important to us. Everyone plays a role in this. I'm always reminded of a quote from an Aboriginal elder woman who actually chooses not to be named because she wants the quote to be attributed to her community. She said, "If you've come to save me, you're wasting your time. But if you've come because somehow your liberation is wrapped up with mine, then let us work together." We need liberation. Our folks on the ground need liberation. We need each other for this mission to succeed. We have a partnership with one of our really key partners, the John Foundation. They're on the ground in India. They're also called Asha Jyothi. You'll hear that in the videos we're going to show. But we get a chance to go to India, to meet them, to see some of the programs. And I want to introduce you to Saji John and his daughter, Beulah, who both Saji and Cynthia John, their 2 children, Ben and Beulah, now are taking over running much of the organization. And it's great to see this next generation. So you're going to get a chance to meet them. And then we're going to take a quick tour of the center. We're going to see some of the skills training and hear some stories from women whose lives have been impacted. So let's go to India.
Family, I am Saji John, and I work as the trustee for the John Foundation and Asha Jyothi here in India.
Hi Sudara family, I'm Beulah John. I work as the director for all the income generation projects here.
We have 3 main objectives, 3 objectives that we work towards. The first objective of John Foundation or Asha Jyothi is to empower children and women. Empower children and women who are vulnerable. The way we do that is, in the area of children, we bring children who are orphans, who are semi-orphans, children of commercial sex workers, children whose parents are HIV/AIDS positive or HIV/AIDS infected. We bring these children to our campuses and we empower them by providing safe homes and education, quality English medium education. So that is our first objective, to empower children and women who are vulnerable. The second objective that we have is to make our beneficiaries self-sustainable. That is, whether we bring in children or women to our campus, we want to make them self-sustainable during the time that they spend their time with us. The way we do that is, as I said, in the area of children, we make them self-sustainable by providing them good quality English medium education. We make the young women self-sustainable by rescuing them from sex trafficking, by rescuing them from temple prostitution, and bringing them to campus and give them skills training program, skills that are employable. So we run 17 government certified, recognized technical skills. When they get those skills, they are empowered to get a job. I know many of you, Sudara family, you buy products from Sudara. We are grateful to you because every product you buy that brings in the income for us to self-sustain ourselves, so that this program can go on, so that we can rescue more children, rescue children who are HIV/AIDS infected, rescue children of commercial sex workers, rescue children who are orphans, rescue children of single moms. We can also rescue girls who are in temple prostitution, girls who are in sex trafficking. So definitely the partnership between John Foundation and Sudara Foundation, Sudara means a lot to us, and we are grateful for your partnership, and that's what our partnership means to us.
Thank you, Saji and Beulah. It's great to see you and hear from you. We now get to go visit some of the programs that the John Foundation, Asha Jyothi in India, provides for women who are at risk. And there's about 17 different vocational training options that women have, so they have a choice. It's not just everyone's being pushed into one thing, but they can choose if it's a spoken English training, computer skills training, beautician training, sewing. All these different opportunities are matched by the John Foundation with the needs, the employment opportunities on the ground in India. And so these women are learning skills that will translate into them getting a job. Approximately 90% of the women who go through this training at the job fair that happens at the end get employed right away. And so we're excited for you to be able to see some of what goes on the ground. It's great to see some of the work that's going on. I think the thing that really moves me and makes this powerful is that because we're working with real on-the-ground folks, we get to learn from some of the stories of the women whose lives have been impacted. We get to hear over and over again how this job opportunity transformed their lives. We get to interview the women. We get to make sure that the work that's being done there is actually benefiting them. So I'd like to introduce Lakshmi and let you hear about how the job training has made a difference in her life and the life of her family.
నా పేరు లక్ష్మి, మామ్నాడ్ జిల్లా ఆత్మకూరు మాది. ఇట్లా మా ఇంట్లో పరిస్థితులు బాగాలేక నేను చదవలేదు. 16 ఏళ్ళకే పెళ్ళి అయిపోయింది. 16 మా ఆయన పేరు రాములు, ఇట్లా కూలి పని చేస్తాడు, అమ్మాలి పని చేస్తాడు. అయితే అనుకోకుండా బొక్క ఇరిగింది. బరువు ఎక్కువ వెయిట్ మోయడం వల్ల బొక్క ఇరిగింది. బొక్క ఇరిగి చాలా పరిస్థితులు చాలా ఇబ్బంది అయిపోయినాయి.
Lakshmi is one of the 660 million women who make up 48% of India's population. Research indicates that close to 57% of women never graduate high school in India. The lack of education or employable skills leaves them financially dependent on a father or husband. Reports have shown that when such families face the untimely demise of a breadwinner, the women and kids end up extremely vulnerable to human trafficking.
Lakshmi was left all alone to take care of her bedridden husband, her 2 children, as well as her aging in-laws. But Lakshmi decided that she isn't going to give up. She will take care of herself and her family. Lakshmi then decided to learn a skill such as tailoring. Then used her skill to get a job as a tailor at Shop for Asha.
అప్పటి నుంచి దీంట్లో పని చేస్తున్నా. నాకు ఇప్పుడు రూమ్ రెంట్ కట్టడం, నా ఇంట్లో చిన్న చిన్న ఖర్చులు, మా హాస్పిటల్ అన్నిటికీ సేఫ్టీగా ఉంది. నా కూడా ఇప్పుడు మంచిగా ఉంది, ఇంట్లో మంచిగా నడుస్తుంది. ఆశాపూర్ దానికి ధన్యవాదాలు తెలుపుకుంటున్నాను.
That's a powerful story. I can't tell you how many variations on that story that we've heard over and over again. I remember sitting with a group of 12 women in a remote village just near the border of Bangladesh that were working on our Sudara products, and all 12 of those women had come from a brothel community a stone's throw away from the sewing center. We got a chance to interview them, and all of them had this joy and hopefulness that was actually pretty stunning. Now we get to go to our sewing center in India and visit with a woman named Anita and hear how having this job has made a difference for her in her life.
నా పేరు అనిత. నేను ఇక్కడ వచ్చినప్పుడు నాకేం తెలియదు ఆశా జ్యోతిలో. ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి నేను బ్యూటిషియన్, టైలరింగ్, మగ్గం వరకు నేర్చుకున్నాను. ఆశా జ్యోతి వల్ల టీచర్స్ ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ వల్ల నేను చాలా ఇంప్రూవ్ అవ్వగలిగాను. ఇక్కడ చాలా బాగా నేర్చుకున్నాను. ఇక్కడ నుంచి బయటికి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత నేను న్యాచురల్స్లో నేను జాబ్ చేస్తున్నాను. నా శాలరీ వచ్చేసి 18,000. ఇక్కడ నుంచి చాలా ఇంప్రూవ్ అయ్యి బయటికి వెళ్ళాను. నేను ఇక్కడ వచ్చినాక నా ఫ్యామిలీ కూడా నాకు సపోర్ట్గా లేకుండే. నా హస్బెండ్ కూడా నాకు దూరం అయ్యేటప్పుడు, తర్వాత నాకు జాబ్ వచ్చిన సందర్భంలో తను నాకు దగ్గరయ్యి మళ్ళీ నా అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ ద్వారా చనిపోయాడు. మళ్ళీ ఇవన్నీ నాకు నేర్పించిన ఆశా జ్యోతికి నేను రుణపడి ఉంటాను. దీనివల్ల నేను చాలా ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ అయ్యాను. ఆశా జ్యోతి థ్యాంక్ యూ. మీ వల్ల నేను చాలా ఇంప్రూవ్ అయ్యాను. నాకు లైఫ్ ఇచ్చారు, మంచి లైఫ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఆశా.
Thank you, Anita. Your story gives us hope. And you're why we do what we do. We are grateful. One of the powerful aspects of working on the ground is when things happen in crisis, we're able to work with our partners to respond. And this past spring was truly a crisis in India. In the global pandemic, India was hit very, very powerfully. I'm going to let Saji explain what that looked like and what response that we were able to make together with them.
We are in a country where there is huge need, and we just are coming out of a pandemic and COVID lockdown situation, and many of you know the second wave hit India very bad. In fact, we lost hundreds of thousands of people to COVID. And in our city alone, in Hyderabad, there were nearly 18,000 COVID patients waiting outside the hospital just for a bed. And when they got a bed after 3 or 4 days, when they got into the hospital, there was no oxygen or no ventilator. And lack of ventilator, lack of oxygen killed so many people. And we have seen all that trouble, all the struggle. There were also hundreds of thousands of people who died due to hunger. There are lots of people lost, migrant workers, single moms who lost jobs. They live on daily wages. And when everything shut down, everything locked down, they lost their jobs and there was nothing to feed their family. And we are grateful with our partnership, especially with Sudara partnership. We were able to distribute nearly 14,000 food grain packets. Each of these packets containing food for 1 week for a family of 3 to 4 people. And we believe we helped sustain nearly 3,000 families during that COVID lockdown because of our food grain packets.
Saji, it was so gratifying to see the way you, our Sudara family, stepped up during that time. We supported the majority of that work on the ground, those 14,000 food grain packets, those 3,000 families that didn't starve during that time. Yeah, that's the power of partnership. As a result of this, now there's a new need that's really emerging, which is there are new orphans, there are children who lost both their parents in the spring. There are older girls particularly who lost both their parents, and there are moms who are now single moms that need help. And so we're working together with the John Foundation to provide housing and education for many children who've come through this time. We're working to provide housing and job skills training to older teen girls who now need they need skills so that they're not at risk. And so the beauty is that we've got the ability to provide them a loving place to land and heal, but then gain the skills they need to sustain themselves in their world. In addition, we are supporting women, newly single mothers, new widows, who now need job skills training, and also their children need education. And so we're providing free educational services for their children, and then job skills training for the women so they can stand on their own feet and not be vulnerable to trafficking or other exploitation. And so that's our goal through this fundraising that we're doing, which is we want to be able to double and triple the amount of work that we're doing. Our goal for the fundraiser is to raise $75,000 over this week. And we have this wonderful wet paint group that already donated $5,000 to support our work. And today we're excited that we have a challenge match to offer up. We have some good friends who offered to match dollar for dollar up to $30,000 that we raised this week. That means that if you give $1, it turns into $2. And that gets us to $60,000. That gets us so close to our goal. And even more good news, we've got some good friends, Mark and Bethany McKinley, who stepped up to donate $2,000. And that $2,000 turns into $4,000 with a match already. You can give at any time during this event. You can go to sudarafreedomfund.org and give. sudarafreedomfund.org. It should be in the chat as well. Anytime this week. And the money will be matched up to that $30,000 for dollar match. Now a couple of fun things. We have a giveaway going on. You can get automatically entered to win your choice of pajamas in any color or size. And the way you do this is that in the comments, you tell us something you learned about Sudara today, or why you support Sudara, or tell us what you're grateful for personally, your choice. Any comments along those lines get you entered into the chance to win today's giveaway. Whether you're watching live right now or watching the recording, you can go in and comment. As long as you comment the same day the segment airs, you'll be entered to win. Tomorrow, we'll randomly select a winner and notify the winners via the comments. Okay, the next fun thing is at the end of the week, we're going to auction off a sari that we'll recreate into an item of your choice. We are upcycling beautiful saris into items like pants, scarves, anything that you want that we make, we will make it for you with that sari. And you can bid on that sari now by using the comments, type sari and the amount you wish to bid, and we'll announce the highest bidder on Friday. One more time, you can go to sudarafreedomfund.org. You can learn about our mission. You can donate. You can go to Sudara and buy punjamis. Any way you participate helps our mission together to create liberation that impacts our lives, that impacts lives in India, that impacts our partners. This beautiful synergy is creating well, I'll take you to the center. One of the things that happens at the center is that there are a few hundred orphans there that live in loving, caring homes, and they are a swarm of love. They make an impact on the girls that have come out of really difficult situations because they're so loving and just so much just beautiful children. We want to be a swarm of love in the world. And we want to bring that spirit and hope. And so everything we do together creates that kind of synergy that changes the direction of someone's life. And we want you to participate with us. We want to participate with you in helping your dreams come true and helping the women and the children that we support in India, helping their dreams come true as well. Join us tomorrow and hear about how business can be a force for good, and how you can use business to be a force for good, and how your purchasing and choices as a consumer can shape the way the world works. We look forward to sharing with you more about our model and more about freedom. Thanks. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to get reminded when new content is available.